Alrighty, welcome to the consolevania commentaries.
Alrighty.
Yeah?
Alrighty. Right, you're going to watch, well, we're going to watch episode 1. Hopefully you'll watch it
Right,
as well.
I'm pressing play, here we go. Right, so
otherwise-
everybody press play. 3, 2, 1, now.
We're in. It's the theme tune. This is filmed by me, walking round the road from Rab's house to my house.
As you can see, he didn't wipe his fucking lens.
It's pissing down. And I was actually talking to your dad when I was doing that, but you didn't hear that because...
Were you really?
Nah, because your dad walked me around.
I can't remember that.
You weren't there. That's my cat, Molly, and one of them is Robert's cat, Emily.
I think it's the wee one that's... Is it
That
not the wee
one, that
Aye,
one, no,
that's
right.
it.
And that's the first time Consolevania ever came up on screen, Consolevania.
This music was off a free editing package called...
It was not free. The
no,
production
it came
of
with the
Consolevania
computer.
was actually delayed because I insisted that we buy Pinnacle
Oh,
editing
fuck,
software.
that's right. What much did it cost?
£60. And
Jesus.
it was fucking rubbish.
And that was like stock music that came with that we were using. It was off. All the music you'll hear in this episode. And in fact, the music that you hear in this episode we heard quite recently in a biography channel show about Gene Wilder. Anyway, back to
And it
Consolevania.
was quite a sad bit as well. It was when he was talking about his mother dying and they played the same music as we'd used in a bit. And it was,
As we used in the Hitler bit, if I remember
oh,
rightly.
God. So this is us in a pub. I can't remember the name of this pub. It's round the corner of the Modern Art Museum.
I'm trying to remember where it is. It's near it's off St Vincent Street.
It's in that wee lane. Fascinating stuff.
Aye, it's a wee pub, and actually this is an interesting wee fact here, is this scene is actually filmed by a guy called Graham Hanna that we knew
We went to school.
when we were at school. He was my kind of pen and paper RPG buddy back in the day. You'd be happy I said that.
And they never actually get credited for filming this because
never
by
ever
the
get
time the episode was finished, we'd forgotten that he'd filmed it, so we didn't
It
mention
took
it.
so long to put it all together that we forgot about that. The comedy of this scene, I think, what we were trying to do here was, I don't really know, make ourselves look like hard men by being in a pub.
Because I think I have a vague recollection that earlier on we thought we're Glaswegians, so people are going to be intimidated by us, so we'll have a drinking game.
Aye, something
Because that's
like
what we do, something like that. It's hard to believe to look at that we actually look a lot better though. We
There's
don't
a
look
nice white-
particularly good. That's Pinnacle software. It's
And it's,
Cool.
you see it's no in focus.
not
at any point.
completely out of focus.
And you can see here actually I'm wearing Legends hat. It's like I'm wearing a character's clays. There was no distinction between, and I had the boxers for fucking years as well.
And if you look at this woman, we thought that woman was waving at us when we were
Actually,
filming,
she's making a wanker gesture.
because that was like the third time that you'd staggered past that window. It was like the third take of you having your trousers off, and so
Mhm.
she'd had enough.
And she thought I was a pure wanker. Oh, you'll see now if you maybe recognise that lane. This looks dead late at night, but was it?
It was about 10.
I
half
like
10.
that actually. See that dissolve for there to this.
It's
kind
good.
of, it's like we've never used that kind of thing again.
There is continuity to that. This is actually a completely different day. It's no the next morning for
Magic
Robert
of
being
TV.
drunk.
I look like a big barrel of shit. That was a throne of the... I don't know where that came from, the throne of the coat hanger, Mike. I think it just kind of started, didn't it? I think it just built up for naturally kind of passing at each other to be thrown, and then... This is that behind there is Glasgow Cathedral, and that's where we're in the necropolis filming this. I don't think
You're not allowed to
film
film.
it.
You're not allowed to film in the necropolis.
I look slim there. No slim, but you know what I mean. Like, can I Gary
Compared
Barlow
to now.
things?
No offence.
See, you just ruined my bit of the commentary there by saying that was a wee
What
bit.
did you say?
I don't think you're allowed to film in the
Oh,
group.
for Christ's
What does
sake.
it say? It's me, you fucking idiot. What did it say?
So that's the same material that you're using
Aye.
4 years later.
I can't believe I was wearing... I mean, what the fuck? So what is actually Legends' costume? Is Legends' costume just a pair of sunglasses?
Aye.
To give us some narrative grounding for the whole Belmonts versus Dracula saga. And in the process,
Consolevania came for...
You think there's a slight air of pretentiousness here?
Or is it just a bit? I think that is the original wank hat I'm wearing there. Consolevania started. That says SWA there, doesn't it?
It does.
Fucking weird.
We banged in that once when we were in the Acropolis and there was somebody in it, remember?
Yeah,
a homeless
somebody sleeping
person.
in it, which is quite
Homeless, not an undead person.
quite distressing. Consolevania came through. I went on. I can't remember what you and Michael were in the room one night, and I remember saying to you, I had got a camera, a video camera from a guy called John O'Callaghan at a production company, because I'd written something and they were a wee bit interested in it, and I'd found out that they'd got a camera just lying about, and I was like, any chance we could get a linear camera? So we got a linear that, and then I think the idea came a day in a game show. I think I posted up on a couple of forums, Rollmuck Forum and NTSC UK, saying we were going to make this, and we didn't have a clue what we were.
We asked people to choose the name as well, didn't we?
That's right. I can't remember the name of the guy that picked the name Consolevania.
No, I can't remember either.
But there was what was the other
Had you
names?
put a suggestion in yourself for a name? Because I know what mine was.
Ryan's suggestion was
Chucky Dregs,
I think my
Which is
suggestion
awesome.
was something like,
which is totally awesome.
what was my suggestion?
One Up.
Was it the Robert Show? This is when we used to film. I say when we used to film the games footage off the telly, but we're moving back to that again, that old school style.
If you look at the left-hand side of the screen now, you can actually see the red dot in the camera reflecting off the
reflecting the
TV
telly
screen, because
screen,
we hadn't
okay.
figured out that you had to stick tape out the front of it, or you would see that. It's another fascinating fact.
I can't remember. Did I give this a bad review or a
No,
good
you said
review?
it was good.
I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. They're not very popular, the 3D Castlevania games, but I remember quite enjoying this one.
I get kind of trounced by like Devil May Cry and things like that, don't it?
Aye, true. I played one of the later ones as well, very similar to this, and I enjoyed that as well. I think me and Kenny ran through it. Like, me having a go, him having a go, me having a go, him having a go. It was good. Kenny's got a long-standing feud with Dracula in the Castlevania games. Every time Kenny's in a bad mood, it's generally because he's fighting Dracula.
God, you're going on about it, aren't you? I've said that now, and I've just remembered that the
Yeah,
Morrowind
there's a
reviews on
12-minute long Morrowind
Jesus
review that
Christ.
we've got to somehow do a commentary during. I'm trying to think of how life was very different for us back then, if you remember, because
It
I was
seems
living
like ages ago.
and I was living around my ma's house. You were in your ma's house, and I was I'd spent many a night running Ryan's house.
Curry nights.
Curry nights. That's why I just progressively get fatter. I spent a lot of nights running there, staying the night, eating, playing games, talking, listening to music, spending the night snoring the house down. I never knew I snored until I...
Snoring in the house down and quite often farting in the house down as well.
No.
It would be
No,
it's fairly
no.
common for me to be leaning out of my own bedroom window at 3 in the morning because the fucking stench was so bad.
No. I don't know, this is really a clear memory for me. And actually, I'll tell you why it's a clear memory for me, because this later game, I can't remember the bloody name of it, that me and Kenny played through, had this exact same run up the stairs, but it was all ruined and stuff like that. And I remember thinking, that's the stairs out of the previous one.
Brilliant.
There she is.
Do you do a joke here with the footage?
Did I do a joke? I don't know. I can't remember there being too many jokes in
Oh
this.
no, it's IC, it's a repetition of IC for the drinking game. Well said, Rob.
God, my God, it's done.
Recommendations.
Rygar's brilliant. Rygar's still beautiful looking. Rygar was a great game. This was at the time we were having to buy our games back then. We still are to a great extent, but
But we were buying them anyway.
we had to buy everything. Aye, we were buying. And this is the thing where we used to put down quotes before. That was brief. We used to put down quotes in forums.
People don't like them, so we slowed down them.
Sexy boy.
Hero of Youth. And these were filmed... Was this the first ever footage we filmed for Consolevania? It was, wasn't it?
This was the first ever footage we filmed. Aye, we went out, and this is before we had any ideas for links or anything like that.
We didn't even know what the show was, you wanted to do a character, so we went
Aye.
up to the Glasgow Uni.
So Legend was kind of the first thing. But I don't really like these bits. I don't like them now.
Why?
I'm not sure I liked them then
Why?
either.
I will never do like doing them, they were hellish.
Just because it was, I don't know.
I was going to take this opportunity as well to compliment you on your accent, because I've never said how impressive it.
I don't know. I don't like these bits. It's just kind of snide. It's just kind of.
Oh right, I see what you mean.
It's a bit amateur hour, kind of. But anyway, it was amateur hour, so there's nothing wrong with that. That's a QM Union. That's a Glasgow University QM Union, which I only managed to get in for a year before I dropped out of uni. But I remember I think it had arcade machines in it. A few.
No, you don't like that at all? You're pretty much an old school guy. So Sega or Nintendo? Sega, definitely. PlayStation or Xbox?
Something crude coming up, so if there's any kids in the room, you might want to. I see, pussy or ass, they said.
See,
What does that mean? What does that mean? That's my kind of guy. Is Legend gay?
I don't know what it means. I was winging it.
What's next? We got a games comedy.
It's the Passion of the Christ.
Right.
Which, to anybody who hadn't played Freedom Fighters, was just, I think it was the first.
See, now we would try and figure out a way of getting into the footage of somebody calling him Chris, but...
Aye. No, how would you possibly know? Look at the size. It's like we're cutting to the kind of... Oh, God.
Good comedy time in there as well. Just fade, plop. Fuck Christ. What did that say? I can't even remember that. I don't even remember what that means. Somebody's added that. Like somebody's hacked into your Xbox.
Is that real? I can't remember that. What was I talking about? The SX and stuff?
What were you talking about?
What was that bit? What's he talking about?
Oh no, it was...
you.
What is this show about?
So Morrowind,
Morrowind's excellent, brilliant.
Did
brilliant,
you have
excellent.
an Xbox when I got Morrowind?
No, I didn't. No,
You must have.
because there's there are they games that I remember, because I was envious of you for having them, because I didn't have a PS2 when you brought Ruin, your PS2 and Grand Theft Auto 3, and I looked at it and went, Jesus Christ, I'm going to have to get a PS2. And when I saw this, I thought, I'm going to have to get an Xbox.
I was sure you had an, because I was sure I bought this and then I came and I played it in your house.
Nah.
I didn't.
No.
That's an intercept joke, yeah. Well, it looks quite ugly now, doesn't it?
Does it? It's really, if you try and play it now, Morrowind, it's... But I could say it, laughing at my comedy. If you play it now, it's like you run for 20 seconds, there's a loading screen, you run for another 20 seconds, it's a loading screen. I don't even know how I managed it. I know, and you're like, I'm trying to do Morrowind Game of the Year, Mum.
Nah, Cliff Racers. That's the thing I remember most of Morrowind, actually, Cliff Racers. No, not what I remember is your fucking house, is what I remember.
What do you mean?
Morrowind.
Oh, aye.
Ryan had collected all these items.
You see it
in
in the review?
this, didn't you? Aye, but you didn't stop working on it.
What do you mean?
If you took this footage.
Oh no, aye, true.
It built up.
Because I did the outside of the house as well eventually.
Look at this. This is when we were like.
Because when you go to Vivek or Vivek and you attack I forget what they're called now. The soldier guys in Vivek.
If you attack Vanderfeld.
What? If you attack them once, like early on in the game, they never forget. So every time you go to that city, you get attacked. So I had hundreds and hundreds of their helmets lying about that they drop. That's fucking fascinating.
There you go.
Jesus Christ.
How long's left in this review?
About 5 minutes.
There
were no rules back then.
No, there was no rules back then. It's strange when you think about it now, but actually at the time we put this out, and when I say put this out, we didn't put it out, we kind of told people that we'd made this and then we sent it to people on CDs. There wasn't really anything I mean, I keep asking myself, no, I'm saying, am I talking shite when I'm saying this? Am I talking
No,
shite? I mean, there
I don't.
were other games review shows, but in terms of like something that was kind of on the internet or something that was kind of fan made almost, I don't think there was much going about. There might have been some American stuff.
I think there were a lot straighter as well.
Hmm?
There were a lot straighter as well. The few shows that there were at that
Aye.
time, they weren't quite kind of. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot. They're kind of a lot of comedy ones now.
The water still looks nice. Oh, shut up, Brian! For fuck's sake.
He does go on a bit, doesn't he?
You get half light though. I mean, how long did I play this game for? About 3 years I played it for. Thousands and thousands of hours.
Here's an interesting fact for anybody who is listening to Ryan's love for Morrowind. Now, he's never played.
That's not true.
He's never played Oblivion.
That's not. I did play
He
it.
played it for like an hour or
I
something.
played it for about 10 hours, and then I never went back to it. I don't know what happened.
Well, it just seems bizarre to me.
But I mean, the leap between Morrowind and between Oblivion and Morrowind wasn't the leap between Morrowind and whatever came before that. This is a. I actually have a memory.
Whatever the fuck it was. I don't know what it was, but it was some fucking leak, man. For that one, it was whatever it was.
I have a memory of walking from my house to your house because I was cutting this review together and I went, can I do this? And I came round to ask your permission to see if I could put a minute long loading screen in the review.
Yeah.
But there were no rules.
What did I say?
So we put...
I was fucking wrong. I kind of love the music that was in the first episode. What was that music for? Is that for the Pinnacle as well?
That's the Pinnacle's default.
Pretty good
thing.
stuff.
Pretty jazzy.
We should try and stick some of that stuff into Series 4 here now, because it's nice. What's that you look as if you're wearing a clown mask or something? There?
It's one of the... whatever they're called, I forget all the names.
Small chest. Is it Keira Knightley's face? Yeah.
Quite good. Quite good. Christ, I actually sound bold in this review.
What happens there?
It's a bug in the game.
We used to be really... Here's something that I've noticed as well, was like we used to, when we were making consolevania, we used to find a lot of kind of glitches and bugs and stuff like that. But it seems that, almost as if now, it's harder to find that kind of stuff, if you know what I mean.
You get them in things like... I'm thinking of an example. Like Just Cause, I did Just Cause for video guiding, but they wouldn't really go the snide route or taking all the glitches and showing them. But if we'd done it for Consolevania, we probably would have shown. But like
What's
the length
that
of it,
noise?
I don't know.
Is that on this?
Is that in the room or is it on the file?
What is that noise?
Take your earphones out. What is it? This is fascinating listening for people.
We're hearing this strange noise in the room. We can't
There's a
tell
clicking sound in our sound booth, i.e. Rab's living room.
because of how bad the sound quality is of the episode. We're not sure whether it's the episode that's clicking or whether it's something
Aye.
else.
No, it's in here.
Right, go and have a look for it.
You sure?
Sorry, I think it might have been my shoe. There you go. There's another glitch. There's another example inside Lara. What's her
Lara
name?
Croft.
Lara Croft. So back to Legend again.
He's
World
fucking all
champ.
the show.
He was world champ.
He's all the show. He is all over the show.
Now I'm here with some kids. What's
See?
your name? Teak. It's a strange name.
Teak used to be on
Good
the,
banter there.
the
See?
Consolevania forums.
That's a strange name. So there you go, huh? I just ad-libbed that. I wasn't scripted that. That's a strange name.
Class. We would never do this now.
No, nowadays not. No, 'cause
We,
you
could, we
can-
wouldn't be allowed to do it now, really, would we? Fucking going up
get
to
arrested.
teenage lassies. Right,
Not
talk
the
to
young
us, we
ones.
like games.
Aye, 'cause it's, I mean, it's no... It's just not a done thing.
Now, what do y'all do here anyway? Aren't you a little
Wait a minute, Legend's not even wearing shades here.
No, he's not evolved yet. He's not levelled up.
It's just me that's talking and
Good sound quality though.
See, to be honest with you, right, that was when I started to find Legend bits actually funny. was when
that
we made the
boom.
decision that whenever I said something that might vaguely even seem like a joke of some kind, we'd put that wee boom button.
And all that shit, that you like your old school Undertaker.
He's cool, legend, because he swears.
You prefer the old one? Yep. I like, what about you? What video game do you? Manhunt, why do you like that? That's it.
Kenny hates what this lassie says in this bit. Remember?
Yeah! Kenny is.
He hates her.
When Kenny asks things about games, oh, is that any good? It's Soul Calibur, is it any good? Action, fighting, yeah. Look at that hanging up my back.
What thing? Well. The fat one.
Hey, come on, they're all fat nowadays.
Your mom let you play it. Who bought it for you?
See what he did there? He's took the word mum and he swapped it for mom.
Well, where do you buy these games? So where did you buy? You bought Manhunt?
I wonder where all these people are now. A lot of these wins are probably deep now, when you think about it.
Which rental store did you get Manhunt from? I can't remember. You don't want to drop them in the shit, that's all. Well, they're not allowed to do it. It's as simple as that. They ain't allowed to do it. What do you think of people that say it? What do you think?
See all that swearing that's coming out of here?
What?
It's not even bothering these young ones. The kids don't care. Kids don't care. What
He's
the fuck
back.
do I say? Look at us.
I gotta tell you, you got a fantastic body there. You know, I could easily stand here and I
See, you can't do that nowadays. You wouldn't be able to do that nowadays.
not like it. Is your top? You should have worn that one. It's far better than that.
Boom.
What a zinger that wasn't that? She must be haunted to that one.
Manhunt Violent, yeah. I guess it is Violent. Just like a...
That guy's bold with you
Somebody-
nuts.
Somebody help legend out here. Struggling.
God, it's still going.
She's older than you. You're not wearing any makeup.
Boom.
See, you she had black lips, everybody rewind it back if you didn't notice.
What's your name? Play video games, sir?
Look, the big guy's turned up, so legend will be off now. That's the end
Hang
of
on,
that bit.
hang on.
The kids like to play the violent games. Developers, you gotta draw the certificates. The kids don't care. They're old enough.
The kids don't care. What the fuck does that mean?
There's an arse. Couldn't he zoom in faster? Oh, it's me on camera, by the way, filming this, obviously. Oh, you asked me a question on that bit, so they probably know.
Can't remember.
Here we
Oh,
go.
here we are now.
Strap yourself in.
Now, this is my favourite bit of the first episode, without a shadow of a doubt. The idea was to go in and interview somebody.
An industry expert.
Aye,
It kinda was.
But basically, we knew that neither of us could interview anybody for peanuts. So it was just, we were expecting it to be an absolute car crash, an interview, but it's just, it was even better than that. It's just two guys struggling.
I can actually remember being actually nervous doing this.
No, I can
and
remember
it seems
seeing you-
ridiculous now.
Seeing you sweating during it.
Aye. It's just... And I had a notepad with me, didn't I? With
I
like
feel
four...
terrible sitting doing this commentary and I'm laughing at bits of the show. But I could watch this hour and hour again, this bit.
It was you that edited this bit,
Aye.
though, wasn't it? Aye, so it's you that's to blame. It would have been slick as fuck if it was me that edited it. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. And how long were we in, G4, for doing this?
I don't know.
It was like probably about an hour and a half.
Aye, it must have
Because
been.
Damien was getting... We didn't know Damien, but this
Here's
was the first
question,
time.
man. The question's happening here. This is.
The companies that exist now and the way the game industry is run, do you think that in many ways the games industry is starting to resemble film and that the larger companies now games as opposed to
I can't breathe. I can't breathe. And probably a lot of people watched that and went, that was deliberate. And it fucking wasn't.
That's the beauty. It's like, oh man,
With regards to the Phantom, as a good, it looks like a
the Phantom. You were fucking obsessed with the Phantom through.
I think you told me that the Phantom wasn't coming out as well, and I went, fuck that, I'm asking him anyway.
and that the company's chased the larger titles.
Unbelievable.
They chased the large sales to cater more to
Who's that in the background? Jails are up.
What would you say was the last
Fucking snidey
Oh, like,
bastards.
we're putting in.
Subliminal cuts. There's a reference in one of the subliminal cuts that nobody ever got.
Aye, we get subliminal cuts. We keep cutting to like the shots are like flames.
Because both me and Damien are panicking because there's a camera pointing at us and neither is. And that was the reference to Columbo, the episode of Columbo where he
He
uses a subliminal cut to catch the bad guy.
So many people are shooting up, first person shooting up.
What do you make of Sonic?
They've changed it too much.
Hang on.
It was great fun filming this. So it was great fun sitting doing it. Ryan's just dropped his mic.
I kicked the eye river and it fell off.
I see you. I hate that bit. I wish we hadn't put that bit in. It's my fault.
Why?
I don't know, because it just looks naff now.
It's not the only thing in this episode that looks naff. Look at that old guy. Where did he come from?
I've never noticed that before.
Fucking Quentin Chris stand buying his PC games.
There's two of them. It's full of old guys.
Do you feel like you owe Damon Murray an apology for the way you've cut this together?
Well, no, wait a minute for the way.
Do you feel like you owe?
It's not my fault.
Do you feel like you owe me an apology for the way you've cut
It's
it?
not my fault. It's just I tried to cut it together in the most amusing fashion possible. Because obviously I used the worst bits, but that was the idea. I was never going to put in a big interview that was a straight interview.
That bald guy
Big man.
behind him, he doesn't work in G4 anymore, but he was getting Damien grief for the amount of time that we were taking.
Was it?
Aye. He was meant to be working, wasn't he? He's a gag cunt.
Here's the gig. I love the timing, yeah. Right, just everybody waiting for when he gets
Because I'm
his
prepared
sticks
for
on.
it, I'm prepared to make the gag. Here it started, by the way.
Many pockets have you got? Yeah, well, right. Yeah,
Glasses are out.
go.
Like a escape hero.
You can't pick me.
That is the creepiest. What does that mean?
What?
See if you'd say, right, see who's your greatest games hero of all time, right?
Gaming hero. That was the
Gaming
question.
hero, right? Gaming hero of all time, right?
Still got the notepad
And
with
he's
the
having a
question
thing,
written in it
right?
if you
He's having a
want to
thing you
check.
say, and you can't pick me. That I don't get that. I would walk. See if it was like a lassie we're interviewing. I would walk in that kind of creepy, almost like you're trying to make a move over kind of way. But no. When
Can
you're
we
interviewing a guy-
mention a bit that we filmed but never used for episode 1?
What was it?
Mind the bit in
Oh,
National
fuck, aye,
League.
we can mention it.
'Cause we did it-
That was an interview and all.
We did that was another interview for me. And I was doing a bit where I was asking people about games, and I was going about with a bag of games as well, when I asked them, because, it's that rucksack I've got in my back, actually, that's what was in there.
Aye, there was a bag full of games.
Because I asked Damon to pick for the bag to see what his favourite was, but we were doing questions in Ashton Lane, and I was asking a couple of lassies a question, and I asked them what age they were, and one of them said, what was it, 13?
12.
She was 12, and my reaction was frankly unacceptable, because I went, you're no 12. Like, I
Aye,
looked at how... It was unacceptable anyway, let's put it that way.
You fancied her, didn't you?
I didn't fancy
And then
her.
she was
I
12.
was just shocked by. See, that's just disrespectful what you've done there by putting that on.
Aye, well, it's disrespectful to two years.
Oh, that's much better then, I suppose.
Just pull JPEGs off there.
The magic of the show, like,
There's the wee red light back on the screen.
I imported Siren. Cost quite a lot of money. I remember that. I think I got walloped for customs and all on it. So that's why I'm so serious in this review.
you don't need us to tell you this is a game about 10 people trying to survive in a village overwhelmed tainted by a stream that now runs blood red.
I don't really remember this review.
No idea.
Don't talk here. Maybe good.
I think people quite liked this review. It's just really
The
hard.
reaction to episode 1 of Consolevania was phenomenal.
Stop his mic again.
I think the mic's still in, I just can't hear what I'm saying. Right, we're
The
on.
reaction was good. The reaction was good, but it's just so hard to. The reviews are the hardest thing to watch again for me, kind of. So I don't
Why? Why'd you say that?
Because I don't like having to sit and listen to myself talking.
Shite.
What occasionally sounds like a load of shite. We're only sure at this stage what we were wanting to do, really. You know, and we could have both probably pulled off like a serious review show where we were kind of, and I'm sure people would have liked that. Some people would have liked that, but it's because of that. I mean, I think this is, you know, there's nothing wrong with this review, but it's just a bit. It's not kind of the kind of review I would do nowadays. Anyway, I don't think. Taking things a wee bit.
The only reason I kind of watch the early reviews, like the Series 1 reviews for Consolevania, is because I clearly just have no confidence at all. It's like I'm intimidated by the sound of my own voice.
No, that's the thing. It was horrible, because I remember even when we'd put them out and we'd be getting quite a lot of complimentary comments and stuff like that, and it was still like, when I would watch them back, I'd be skipping everything, kind of. I'd be skipping the reviews and I'd be skipping the legend bits, because I always hated looking at them.
Quite often by the time you've finished editing together an episode though, you're kind of sick of the sight.
Aye. It's kind of great fun shooting it.
The fun is the main.
And it's great fun editing it, you know what I mean? And then it kind of, then you're just, for the minute you put it out, you're kind of just shitting yourself.
Had you scripted this? I think you had, didn't you?
Had I scripted this? I definitely had notes or something. I definitely had bits of paper in my hand. That's the thing, because like later on, we didn't do any of that. You did a wee bit of it as well for a period, didn't you?
I had like
notes,
bullet
kind
points
of,
and
but,
things.
we ended up ditching that. And I think it's a confidence thing as well. I think it's,
Aye.
Siren is something new, something else.
actually quite, filming the Siren footage after telly actually quite suits it. Because I remember putting the game on again, maybe about a couple of years ago or something, and I was kind of like, this isn't as good looking as I remember it being. It's not as kind of creepy looking as I remember, and I think it's probably because it doesn't have the bands across it for this.
Listen to the quality of that sound.
The narrative builds layer upon layer.
You're practically swallowing the mic when you're doing the
There are
video.
worse, there's much worse sound to come.
Cool. Tune in, folks.
She looks like 12.
She's not 12.
Simply you living within a world the designers have chosen for you, but you enjoy
There you go. There's a wee bit of...
What did you
See, when
say?
you're playing a game, right, according to Rap here, you're living in a world that the designers have chosen for you. Know what I mean?
something more is going on, if not within the game itself, then at least in the mind of the designer. These didn't seem like your random Silent Hill sirens, just there because they sounded scary. There is something very warlike, something never
No, fuck off, Ryan. There's nothing wrong with this review, actually.
No, I didn't say there was.
echoing through the game through that
Didn't say there was. Get up.
echoing through time. The village is streamed blood red, its people bloodied, broke.
Christ, you can hear my eye level.
It brings to mind Hiroshima.
Nothing.
You might not want
Just been me kicking this off the table again, probably.
One wonders whether the designer is saying something about post-war Japan beside the villagers, the enemies, tainted by the way the designs seem militaristic. Crack shots with the rifles, constantly beating
You enjoying
senseless
this?
objects.
You enjoying this?
No, I'm just listening because it's no. I've no actually.
Exists among their
I'm not going to lie and say that we don't watch the shows very often, because we have occasionally had a look at the old shows, but
No, I was definitely the first 3 or 4 episodes of Consolevania I was totally in love with. To be honest, I think I watched them an awful lot. So I couldn't believe that people were saying nice things about them.
I just never go. I never go that way. I don't think about Consolevania until later
Until
on.
it was too late.
Until it was too late. Until later on, I think it was kind of around about series 2. I was kind of thinking, oh, we're kind of doing good stuff now.
But in time, this game could be seen as the Citizen Kane of video games.
Jesus Christ. There he goes, man. Has it happened yet? Right, folks, know it's time to have a look back. As years later, are we calling it Citizen Kane yet? I called something else recently the Citizen Kane of video games, did I know?
I'm pretty sure you did.
What was it?
Was it no Mario Galaxy?
Can it have been Mario Galaxy? I called the Citizen Kane of video games. Christ, what was it? It was probably Dynasty Warriors or something.
Probably.
You know what I mean?
Forbidden, Siren, and the game's been dubbed. So
I like
everything
this
I mentioned previously about the O2's influence can be written off. Why? Because it sounds like this.
Jesus Christ. This is the first episode of Consolevania that we're doing this kind of thing, and it took us until Series 3 to do it again.
What do you mean?
We're Glinda Street to take
What,
games
dubbing out
footage and
games
dub it.
footage, aye.
Because they're monsters. But it's that way, people are driven. You're gonna help me out. Who's this? Oh, shit. Hello, I wonder. My car is broken down.
But dodgy that.
I wonder if you got a spare tire on or something. Hey, what are you making?
Chinaman.
You're crazy, huh? Better not. Hey, you look handsome. You want to come into the room? No,
Let's talk our way through that. The journey that your accent took there when you were talking. What was it to start with?
Welsh. See, there's just
we recommend this.
listen to the sound here.
I know.
I mean,
The
this
sound-
game
well,
was unbelievable. Like, I need to say this again, right? Because I don't think we've really spoken about this game enough. This game is it's fucking sick as fuck, isn't it?
I can remember you playing it. I've never played it myself because it's a horror game and I'm a shite bag. But I can
Look at that.
Yep. The footage.
Well, this is Kenny's first appearance.
Do people know that that's Kenny?
People maybe don't know that this is Kenny's first appearance in Consolevania. I think a lot of people thought that Kenny kind of appeared later, came into it, but here he is in a minute, and it's his
how
own
thin you
mask. Look how thin I am, though. I've almost got breasts, some of that.
I know. But look how thin you are.
We're going to be seeing
Here we go here.
start to finish the giant Grand Prix
Okay.
on the Dreamcast.
And we're going to be following this right through the series of Consolevania. Remember that as well.
Yep.
Another one of these ideas that never. There's Kenny.
There'll be
People
no,
must know that's Kenny.
aye. There'll be no cutting, no clipping in this as well with the game
Me and
footage.
Joanne bought Kenny that mask for his birthday. I remember that. It was about 90 quid or something.
Jesus Christ.
It's a proper kind of pro-made mask.
The reason why the sound quality is so bad on the games footage is because it's the coat hanger mic pegged to
Taylor, is it?
no, it's pegged to a bottle of polish at the side of the
Bottle of
telly
polish or something?
aye, to keep it standing up to record it straight for the speakers.
This is footage from... Christ, what was it? I've just said it. I don't know.
Graham.
No, it's not Giant Grams. King of Colosseum.
Oh.
Is it King of Colosseum? That is King of Colosseum, isn't it? And just at this period when we were making this, I was absolutely wrestling mad at that time. I mean, I don't think you ever really stop being wrestling mad, but it's kind of cyclical. You kind of get periods of being in love with it and periods of you don't even know what's happening in it. and I'm kind of in one of the periods just now. But at that time, I was just mad about wrestling, kind of.
You and Kenny were into the Japanese wrestling a lot more than me, but I like the
Aye.
American stuff. You wouldn't get away with that now. See the length of time that it's taken us to get started this week?
No,
we wouldn't be able to do
no,
it now.
you wouldn't get away with it now. It's a very disrespectful.
That is
Very
it's
disrespectful
pretty much
sketch,
just
that.
racism.
I'm having a giant affair.
Yep.
I feel like that.
Yep.
I feel like that. Me and Kenny, I mean, it's strange watching this just now because we were, myself and Kenny were absolutely in love with Kenny Kabashi when we did this. That's the guy in the black pants there, and we actually met him a couple of years later, which was amazing, an amazing memory. And he was a lovely guy.
I think you tried to chat your bird up as well, didn't you?
He was chatting to Joanne for ages. No, he's just a lovely guy. I think he was actually surprised that anybody in Britain kind of knew who he was, really, you know what I mean? Never mind the fact that there was all these loads of people there to see him. Kenny, I'm talking about.
Christ, you could almost hear the anticipation. What else? What else is there to talk about? I can't know what.
Well, we're talking about how different our life was back then, and it
Oh.
was a very carefree time, I remember. I think kind of Consolevania came out of boredom a lot as well.
Carefree as far as making Consolevania went, it was good to. It was an adventure and fun today and stuff.
Aye.
But I mean, I had a job and stuff like that. I worked in an office and I wasn't happy.
What
Then
was I doing? Nothing.
I think you were going through a bit of a slow period. I think.
So.
Was no a run about the time that you had that job for 2 weeks and were miserable as fuck. In fact, it must have been because we came to pick you up.
It wasn't. It was well after that. I had that job, was it not?
No, because we came to pick you up one day. Let me think.
No, it can't have been.
No, we came. Me and
That job was the call centre job.
Michael, I think it was, came to pick you up.
Aye.
We met you after you were working in that job to go and do that legend rap.
No way.
Aye.
It can't have been because when I was in that
This
job, I
is-
was in the flat.
Aye, you were in the flat. You moved into the flat after about episodes. This is how we can chart our lives because we can remember
Wait a
where
minute,
we
actually,
filmed.
because the Resi special was in the flat, wasn't it?
Episode 2 of Consolevania, there's a bit in the flat.
No, there's
Just before you decorated.
Fucking hell, so there is. Jeez, I was in that dump for that long.
That's where I'm living now. I'm living that dump. Cool.
Any offence, sir? Christ.
Aye, so that's what you were doing. You were miserable as fuck, and I was miserable as fuck. But as far as Consolevania went, we were having a lot
Well,
of fun.
this is so here's Michael doing his bit, doing his Hitler bit. This was filmed.
Mr. Michael Hoffs, who is my cousin.
Yes.
Don't know if anybody would.
Well, I don't know. Well, people used to think these were very similar looking.
Aye, that was.
Let's put it that way. This was part of a longer segment that was shot that we can't really discuss
Careful
too
now,
much
careful.
because it was in terrible taste. The only people that have seen it are myself and Ryan and Joanne, and Kenny's seen it, Michael's seen it obviously, but it was in, it just.
There is an offshoot for that. This wasn't the original sketch. The original sketch had me and. No, we ran it anyway, but it was us as somebody else, and we had to cut it because Joanne at the time talked us out here, thankfully.
Aye, and she was spot on, but because it could have been the beginning and the end right there probably.
Yep.
But this, I mean, Michael, I remember at the time thinking it was one of the funniest things I'd ever seen Michael doing this.
The reason why the cuts are so short here after each question, each answer that Michael gives an answer, the reason why it cuts so quickly is because you laugh each and every time.
Everything Michael says, I burst out laughing at, so we had to quickly cut.
It's the magazine's question, isn't it? I think it's the last one that's still hilarious.
Where did Michael, where did we get that armband?
Michael downloaded an image and printed it onto a bit of cloth.
You printed it on the cloth?
He actually printed it onto an old lab coat that he had, and he cut the bit off that. So much detail we'll be getting from my memory in the coming commentaries.
The wig is actually looking in quite good shape now.
As it deteriorates, I thought. This was filmed in...
Aye, I was going to say that.
And
You must
Matt-
have interrupted me.
Right. Well, on you go.
Now you can tell it, because it's more relevant coming from
It's
you.
in the loft, the converted loft of mine and Michael's grandma and grandpa's house. I don't want to talk out this question because...
This isn't it yet. What was there about wasps here? Was there a wasp?
Wasp?
There's something, we were up there. And there was
Oh my
something.
god, yeah, Christ.
This is just a memory
There-
that's
there's
flung
a
in my
door
head.
behind you there, and we're against the wall filming them. There's a door behind us as well, and behind the door behind us was closed because there was a wasp nest in it.
Oh Christ, that's what it was.
And when we first went up to the
We had
loft,
buzzing.
there was dead wasps on the
Oh,
floor.
we found dead wasps, that's right.
I'm probably listen to you then. And that's me away as well.
Now, that's the first appearance of Overblood. I
Yep.
forgot that Overblood was in the very first episode. Overblood's it's just a classic. Why did we get so obsessed with Overblood?
I don't know, because it was just
I think
just
it's
kind
because
of
we all watched you play it.
Aye.
Well, me, Michael, and you were all
Because
kind of there following you.
because
doing it.
Overblood was one of the games that I got. I think I originally got it on a GeForce actually, and it was just one of the buys. I just went, oh, I'll try that. We'll see what that's like. And I took it home, and I absolutely fucking hated it. Hated every minute, yeah. But I pushed myself to finish it.
But it was one of the kind of things where, because me and Michael were sitting watching him playing it, and he absolutely fucking hated it, we thought it was like the funniest thing in the world, just seeing him react.
But you also thought it was the funniest thing in the world to start going, you love that game. Ryan loves Overblood. And Edge gave it 7 out of 10.
I know.
It's not the worst game ever made, but
No,
it's
it's
full
not
of shit.
near that. I think people get the idea because we slag it off so much that it is really terrible, but I mean, it's bad, but it's not that bad.
Is this another review for you?
It's another review
I'm
for me.
sick of listening to you.
This is the fucking good old days. The glory. That's why everybody talks about how brilliant Consolevania was at the beginning.
'Cause you did.
Me doing all my...
I've heard that the Jin guy is like the Citizen Kane of video games, is that true?
Game, you exist, right, in a world of the game designers choosing. Think about that. Just think about it. I love this game. I remember that. I remember seeing loads of comments after this. Actually, after that, there were a lot of people saying, "Oh, I bought Bujingai because of that
Because of
review in Consolevania episode 1, and it was shite." I remember that.
A show that loves all games.
And now I watch it and I look at the way Bujingai is, and I'm thinking, did I just love this because I like my kind of Dynasty Warriors games, not my kind of hack and slash, kind of big flurries of colour, and that's all there. You know what I mean? Maybe it was that.
That's good.
It was a good game. It was a good game.
I think you got some American people saying that it was shite because they preferred Devil May Cry. All that kind of crap.
I've just never been a Devil May Cry man, really.
Well, 4? I thought 4 was a snooze. There's probably the people listening to this won't realise because they never watched. Right, moving on. You scripted this as well, I'm pretty sure, because I think I've still got the Word
I
document.
remember the document.
And there was no intro, wasn't there? There was no intro for
No,
this
but we
review.
weren't doing game intros.
But you did one for Castlevania.
I know, but it wasn't really. I think it was.
It was
still
just a link.
A
It
link
was-
guy. I think it was.
Each hit you land in an opponent raises your combo meter by 1, original 1, and you soon find yourself obsessed with a big old chain, or even a big chain in a whole level, which is
See, this is better. See, this is like I'm good with this review kind in this episode because it's more like the problem I have with some of the early reviews is that they don't sound like me. They sound like me
Putting on a voice.
not putting on a voice.
Aye,
Me
sorry.
with an American accent. They sound like me. I don't know. As if I've no. It's just that's not what El Zomba's like. Is what I'm trying to say.
That's a reference to an
You'll probably
outtake.
hear about that in another commentary.
Then during the floor, you can unleash your counter be it an elite or a massive attack for double damage.
That's lovely, that's it. Oh, am I taking all the footage for just the one episode? One episode, the one level? Sorry.
Probably if you're camping with the camera. See, there's a marked difference in the way that me and you cap footage. You tend to cap about exactly as much as you
About
need to
5
use for
minutes worth of
review.
stuff.
5 minutes
It's
of footage.
unbelievable how much footage Ryan captures.
And what I tend to do is put the game on and then go, I'll take a bit of that level and a bit of that level and a bit of that level, and I end up sitting down for 3 hours playing the game and end up...
You don't do that. You don't do a bit of that level. You play like loads of it, and then you play loads of another one. And
Anyway.
then you get like an hour of footage to cut down.
That's not even an exaggeration. For a 4-minute review, I'll usually cap about an hour's worth of footage. And
Which
it's a
is just-
fucking headache because then you need to cut it down. Anyway, we'll be talking about that in another commentary.
I'm enjoying this. It's nice seeing this again. I need to get this on actually. We should be sticking this on, having a pop at it because it's.
Oh, I must be good with this. That's good.
Listen.
I know, it's unbelievable. You'll notice that the first, no really talking about
I
this
got
review
well
here,
for
but
customs on this and all, by the way. Anyway, carry on.
how much were the games that you were buying? Typical
I
price?
can't mind. I can't
The amount of
mind.
money we used to spend on games was disgusting.
Well,
There was a show-
episodes of Consolevania had us doing a couple of £100.
Aye, just on games. There was a game shop used to be in Glasgow. People in Glasgow will know CA Games. That was in the West End. And we used to go in a weekend, me, Rab, Michael, and we'd buy import games because it was before we were really online or anything like that, so we didn't really know about importers.
Aye.
So this guy would import his games and sell them for, like, no exaggeration, like £55, £60, and we'd pay that for the games.
I remember buying WCW Thunder for the PlayStation, the PlayStation 1, and it cost me easy £50 for, absolute fucking shite. Absolute well, I took it home and within about 15 minutes of playing it I was like, this is fucking £50 down the drain.
And you'd buy, like, Squaresoft RPGs,
Shite.
and they were just fucking pish. But you'd play them because they made Final Fantasy, so... And they'd all have about £50 each. What was I going to say? Aye, you'll notice that the early episodes of Consolevania are kind of a lot more basic. The editing and stuff is a lot more basic.
Aye.
And that's purely because we were using Pinnacle and it wasn't great.
Aye, you could cut and paste and that was it.
Aye, that was it. And you couldn't leave gaps between footage. I remember that as well. If you cut something out, it automatically compressed it down. Do you remember?
Yep. No, it was a carry on Pinnacle. It was a terrible idea of Ryan's.
It was another £60 then. Oh, for Christ's sake.
Wait a minute, actually, there's this myth that Legends never wrote this episode, but he's not been in it much. What did they say?
If it's of any importance, what you said, there'll be a bong after it.
I remember Ryan really fancied these lasses. Just saying.
The dark-haired one, I think I fancied.
Ah, you did, which is strange because the blonde-haired one's clearly the better looking one.
Right, but I mean, I know my
I mean, they're
level,
both
though.
nice looking lassies.
If there's a pair of lassies, I'm never going to go for the good-looking one, though, am I? I know
I
my level.
remember at the time thinking that, and this is one of the reasons I really went off Dane Legend, was because I didn't like, it's not so much the taking the piss out of people or anything like that, but it's also I didn't like the way people acted when they were in front of the camera and stuff like that. It just, everything felt a bit sleazy and a bit kind of, I don't know. I don't want to put his off him, obviously he's a brilliant character.
Aye, obviously, he's the fucking best thing we've
But
ever
I fucking
done.
hated doing it.
That wasn't even anything. That wasn't even close to a joke.
I can't believe that. And what do you think of the control system in Gigantic Drive on PS2?
Brilliant.
I like riding my bike.
Oh, riding my bike. I like to get out. You fucking cheeky minxie, what does that mean?
And who do you play your dance mat game with? Is it your fucking Irish music out? Who do you play your dance mat game with? Is it your
Can't even hear any Irish
No,
music.
I know.
I just sound like a maniac there.
Because we were talking to a girl up there, she was playing a dance mat game with her boyfriend, they did it naked.
That's actually true, but we never used
That was
it.
true, but we never used that footage.
She might have been taking a picture.
Why did we not use that footage? Maybe because she was ugly.
No, I'm not taking
Was it?
Fuck's sake.
I think it was. No, it was a cynical.
until I came to Scotland with girls play games that all this doesn't happen in America. But you do it here. Milwaukee.
They're on to you, Rob. They're on to you.
Yeah, fucking wido, man.
We play games and
They're totally into you.
Totally, aye.
You
Definitely.
could have totally taken them home and I could have filmed it.
I shoot them, yeah.
Just imagine that. If at the end of the episode it had been just a shagging scene.
Aye, like that, like Reggie and Allard and stuff. That was my shoes though.
I was just wanting to leave there. See me messing about with my gloves there, and that was me just going, I want to go home in my bed.
Because that was like 2 and that's that. That's the
Is
end
that
of the
done?
fucking... Jesus Christ.
How
How long did that take?
Why is everybody complaining about how long it is? That's it.
That
It's done.
flew, man. That was my... That was
These
a...
thanks here, Brian McDonald, the kids from the Glasgow Museum of Modern Art.
And there's no, no Graham Hanna
Me
in there.
mentioned Graham Hanna.
Sorry, Graham.
March 2004, man, there you are.
4.5 years ago.
So, well, listen, thanks for listening in that first commentary.
The next ones will be better.
There's going to be...
Probably won't be.
Probably no. There's going to be more commentaries going up, being inserted into the Moonlight Museum as we carry on through. So look forward to those. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you got some information that you never knew before. A lot more shocking revelations to come.
Yeah.
So good night.
It might be the afternoon. Goodbye.
Goodbye.